So firstly, I'd like to welcome members of our community and 3 dads that are here, 3 new dads, council members and council staff to this public meeting. I'd like to acknowledge the land that we gather on today is the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and that we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. We also acknowledge the Kaurna people as the custodians of the Greater Adelaide region, and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are still as important to the living Kaurna people today. This public forum concludes the engagement process to provide the community an opportunity to provide feedback on what we are proposing for 2024-25 and the associated budget. The purpose of tonight is to provide members of our community the opportunity to provide comment and feedback on Council's draft annual business plan and budget. The annual business plan and budget is Council's key annual operational and financial planning document, detailing what services and projects we plan to provide in the upcoming financial year and how we propose to allocate our budget. It is based on Council continuing to deliver its existing services and programs and meeting existing and current growth needs. This session will be used solely for the purpose of receiving public submissions on the annual business plan and budget. During this meeting, members of our community can ask questions and make submissions about the plan for at least 1 hour. No decisions will be made tonight. The feedback received tonight, along with the written submissions received during the engagement period, which concluded at 5 p.m. this evening, will be considered by Council at a special council meeting scheduled for Tuesday, 4th of June 2024. I now invite the following people who have indicated they want to speak. Kim Wright, Fatherhood Support Program. There you go.
Thank you. Thanks, Mayor. And thank you to the Council for this opportunity to be able to further submit to you our plans, our hopeful plans for our new and first-time dads and our fathers and our community. I have passed out packs to all of the Council members, and with that I've probably given a history of my involvement in Gawler as a community development worker, but I'd like to just read some of it if I may. For those who don't know me, my name is Kim Wright. I'm currently the Community Development Coordinator with the Department of Human Services at Gawler and District College B-12 Children's Centre, and have been since 2012. In the past 12 years, I have successfully engaged and supported over 500 young families and their children by coordinating and providing safe, strength-based parenting programs and groups, supported playgroups, and working in collaboration with other services to also provide family-focused community events. When I commenced as the Community Development Coordinator, I'll say CDC because it's a mouthful, at the Gawler Children's Centre in 2012, there was very little support for dads in the Gawler-Evanston region. However, we were fortunate to have an SA Health male worker who facilitated supervised access visits for dads who were separated from their children for various reasons. This position, sadly, was closed by SA Health, and to date there hasn't been any men's health worker placed in our region. In 2014, with the help of local fatherhood worker and consultant Aaron Phillips and a young Aboriginal father, elder and centre volunteer, we commenced our monthly Saturday Dads and Kids Playgroup style support group. The group formed the basis of us developing the Dads Matter Fatherhood program, and in 2015-16 we were successful in gaining a Department for Education, Parents in Education grant, funding to run regular fatherhood courses, as well as continuing the Saturday Dads and Kids Playgroup program. With constant advocating and many meetings in 2017, a newly formed Gawler Men's Health Network was established, of which I am a member, along with the LCI Children's Centre, The Gawler Men's Health Network was instigated and is chaired by our local member for Light, Mr Tony Piccolo, and is made up of service organisations and groups, the Gawler Community Centre and non-government organisations such as Save the Children, Anglicare SA, Playford and local churches. The Gawler Men's Health Network is also a member of the steering committee for the Northern Men's Wellbeing Network, which takes in Mark Oliphant, John Hartley, Elizabeth Grove Children's Centres and other non-government organisations and services. And that is chaired by John Goodger from Anglicare SA, a Community for Children program. In 2018, as a qualified Tuning into Kids facilitator, I was able to attend the Dad's Tuning into Kid facilitator course, which further supported my goals of supporting young fathers and those who were seeking knowledge, skills and information about their child's emotional development. And I've since run the program prior to COVID with young dads with 100% attendance over a 7-week period. In 2018, I also established strong connections with the Dads Group organisation and the facilitator in Adelaide and nationally and in South Australia to further build our networks and support young dads in the Northern Adelaide region. Initially, the main challenge of engaging with dads was that I was a female worker, that our centre might have been perceived to be not fatherhood inclusive or friendly, and developing strategies to overcome this, and lastly, finding the best time frames and days to run programs. I was greatly supported in the very early stages by building strong relationships with 2 or 3 dads and their families who were open and actively looking for dad space. For me in particular, the Saturday Dads and Kids program has been a constant source of joy and encouragement to work alongside and see young dads engage and play with their children and also build their networks by establishing long-term friendships with each other. They constantly support each other with different issues that might be happening in their child's lives, and they actively invite other dads to the group as often as they can. I'll go on a little bit further. Another highlight for me was making connections with the Dads Group organisation, and on September the 1st, 2019, I am proud to say we were the only Man with a Pram event happening in South Australia. We had 30 plus dads and their partners and grandparents and their families attend, and it was a terrific event. We since ran it in 2022 because COVID got in the way, and it was even bigger. We're looking actually now to work on a regional Man with a Pram event across the Northern Adelaide suburbs with our other colleagues through the children's centres. In February 2024, the current group of mums that meet at the centre indicated that they believed a new and first-time dads group would be a new way to include and support their partners to meet with other young fathers in a relaxed and safe space. Our first Dad Space group met in March with 4 dads and their babies attending. In April, we had 5 dads, plus another young dad with twins and his father. And I'm really humbled and proud to announce that last Sunday, we had over 15 young dads and their partners and babies come along to a First Aid for Family session. Whilst this relates to being a successful outcome, we now believe it is time to expand, and we are hoping to initially commence the new Dads Connect digital online workshops program, an online space where young dads can come together to support one another, share their experiences as fathers, whilst engaging with highly qualified fatherhood practitioners in a positive and inclusive educational setting. The purpose of our presentation to the Gawler Council is to seek funding. As per the attached proposal for the Dads Connect online digital program, we really do want to be able to support young fathers, initially in the Gawler district for a 12-month period. We expect to connect with over 100 young fathers via the digital program and believe this would provide vital data to be the catalyst to then seek major funding from both the state and federal governments for a larger integrated model of care. In the next few weeks, we'll be meeting with the federal member for Spence, Mr Matt Burnell, seeking his support. I wanted to just highlight to you, and that isn't in your packs, just some statistics around fathers across Australia, that 1 in 5 Australians are fathers. That's 5 million fathers in Australia. 1 in 20 fathers experience depression while their partners are pregnant. Over 2 million fathers have a child under the age of 18. Supporting our young dads is vital to the family cohesion and connectedness, and it's vital to our community. And I wanted to, after reading the Gawler's Community Plan, just highlight some of the aspects that we feel we would meet in the community section of Goal 3, a healthy, active and safe community. I believe that with council support, the Dads Group organisations, Dads Connect online digital program will address these needs of and provide a firm foundation for young fathers and their families as outlined in goal number 3. 3.1, Gawler is to be an inclusive community with quality health and social wellbeing services. We believe we will do this by meeting the needs and providing safe and inclusive spaces for the health and wellbeing of our young families in a very fast-growing community. I know you'll agree with me with that. As advocates, to advocate in all spheres of government, private sector and non-government organisations. Whilst we believe and we are grateful for the added support of non-government organisations such as 54 Reasons, formerly Save the Children, Lutheran Community Care, Pink Parents Organisation, the Anglicare Children's Contact Services, young fathers are often overlooked and are still not seen as being vital to the emotional and physical development of their young children. The addition of the Dads Group organisation's suite father-focused programs and services, this will further improve the mental health and wellbeing of our young families across the whole community. Point 3.1.2, encourage healthy lifestyles and community wellbeing. With young families coming together and building their social capital and networks, this will in turn create an open and safe community that will help to promote and encourage social and emotional wellbeing and healthy relationships. To cover the following 3 points, we believe that with the support of the Gawler Children's Centre, working together with the Dads Group organisation...
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Kim.
Dads Connect program, we believe will be able to build a strong and trusting community. These issues that I've listed are in your pack. Finally, just quickly, sorry, Mayor.
Yes.
So much to say, too much to say. Just quickly, in your pack that you have received, I've given you a very quick overview about the actual Dads Group program, but I wanted to just quickly read our expected and planned outcomes. We will also be a pathway to introduce the Community Dads Group program, a face-to-face peer support program. These sustainable dads groups will be supported and established within local communities. They will be mental health first aid trained, father-led social support groups facilitated in safe and engaging environments, e.g. community parks and cafes. These groups will encourage positive social connection and enhance help-seeking behaviour. Trained peer leaders will work to support fathers to recognise mental health concerns and offer appropriate supports. Research has shown that informal strength-based groups for young parents, in particular new and first-time fathers, have increased their social capital and peer support networks, that they are able to promote interactive father-child engagement and provide a respite opportunity for new mothers. This will flow on and make our space and our community and improve the health benefits for the whole community. And as a UNICEF child and family friendly city, I believe this can happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Any questions? I've got a question. You've got offer price 8,000. What would that fund?
It would fund digital, in your pack you'll see an opportunity there of what actually goes on in the digital networks, the webinars and focus groups that they will have. Professional fatherhood workers will come in as guest speakers. There's also a time for them, a sharing time for them also to increase their social capital and networks, but also a learning time. There'll be some leadership courses for the dads, should they wish to take another role within the community, whether it be a volunteer or, down the track as a paid position. These Zoom, they're not Zoom, I guess they are like Zoom meetings. They're weekly, so it's just keeping everybody in contact with each other. It allows us then to provide space to meet as well. It will increase the numbers, I believe, and hopefully we would be able to move this out further into the community, and perhaps, who knows, wouldn't it be great to have 5 or 6 dads groups in our region? It'd be fantastic. And I believe that's the long-term vision.
Thank you. Any other questions, Councillor Shanks? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Kim. Look, are you able just to, I guess, articulate the project and how successful it's been by the organisers in other areas in our country? I mean, this isn't a test case for Gawler. It is a successful program that has been rolled out in other council areas around the country. So just a little bit of background on that, if you could.
Yep, I'm back on. Yes, the Dads Group organisations commenced in Queensland and is now moving down the east coast to New South Wales and Victoria. They've had extreme successes by providing fatherhood workers in hospitals, Dads Groups right along the east coast and right through to Victoria. The councils in Victoria have taken this on board and have actually, and they're larger councils, and we understand that, have taken on board the larger projects and invested in the Dads Group programs up to $80,000 a year to provide wider, I guess, wider coverage, and it's obviously larger councils that we're talking about as well. But yeah, my understanding and their data tells me that they're reaching over, 1,000 fathers across the coast, and they're working within hospitals and health sectors to provide not only dads groups but perinatal and antenatal care, support for suicide and depression. And also providing support for domestic violence that might arise, and for those fathers to connect and to be not isolated, and are providing a space for them where they can be a man and a father and be able to talk openly with each other about what it's like to be a dad, but also receive training and learning experiences as well. So in bringing in professional workers that can, take them through perhaps some workshops, some fatherhood programs. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? No? Thank you. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Any discussion? Councillor Shanks?
I mean, we're here for an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. Look, I guess through you, Mayor, I wouldn't mind some comments in regards to the presentation tonight and where they would actually fit in on our community and social arm of the business.
Yeah.
Should hypothetically we look at how this fits.
Yeah.
I think Kim's done a really good job in relating it back to our vision, our community plan. I mean,
Right.
this does tick a lot of boxes, but
Yeah,
obviously we're not here to make decisions. But I guess just logistically, it is a relatively small investment for a large return, in my humble opinion. But
Yeah,
just a little bit of a background on how this would work.
I might ask David to provide some comments. Is that okay, David? Oh, I just turned you off. Sorry.
It's okay, through you, Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Shanks, and thank you, Kim, for the presentation. In regards to delivering on the community plan, as Kim outlined, it certainly ticks a lot of the boxes in that space, and it is part of an arm of community development that we as council staff don't have capacity to deliver. The funding ask of $8,000, if council were to consider that being incorporated within the budget, from my understanding of it, it would be a payment out to the Dads Group to run everything themselves. So from a resourcing perspective for council, it's effectively a cash sponsorship opportunity. So there would be no impact to council staff resourcing as it'll be delivered by the external agency.
Yeah.
So
how would that be delivered?
So that'll be delivered by Dads Group. We would provide cash
Yeah.
and Dads Group would deliver the program.
So how, Kim, if you'd like to come up and just explain where the Dads Group would meet.
Certainly. The Dads Group would certainly initially meet at the Children's Centre, and I am able to say that the Gawler Children's Centre Finance or the Department of Education would auspice the funding if that was more appropriate, because I do know they're an interstate organisation, and that then would be audited and looked after and managed by our finance officer at the Children's Centre for any funds that are spent during the year, the monthly payment to Dads Group, that type of thing.
So with the digital program, you've got webinars, you've got training.
Yep.
And that would be run by the Dads Group
Yes.
interstate.
Yes.
And so the Dads Group would meet at the Children's Centre.
Yes.
And they would get the training and the webinars there.
Yes.
But they'd also have opportunity to talk through any issues that might arise.
Yes, and also provide that opportunity for other facilitators, course facilitators that I might be able to source as well through Department of Human Services to support them as well. Yeah. But also for them to bring in highly professional guest speakers to talk to them. And there will be opportunity, hopefully, over the 12 months that we'll be able to have Mr Tom Docking come down from Queensland. Certainly he wants to be involved in the group and to get them started, and that will be at his expense. Then we could then, I guess the sustainability of the project is developing volunteer and or part paid Dad support workers to keep the groups operational and functional and keep it moving,
So you've earmarked somebody who might want to do that or not at this stage? You've earmarked anybody that might be volunteering to run the Dads Group or...?
Yes, I do actually. Through our Saturday Dads and Kids group, I've had 2 fathers come to me this year who wanted to volunteer their time, not only to support the Saturday Dads Group, but also to come in and just meet the new dads and have a chat with them, so that as their children grow, to bring them into the Saturday Dads Group as well. So yes, I do have 2 volunteers who are keen to start, and we also have another volunteer based in Barossa, but will work in Barossa, and we've been able to get some funding for him through Lutheran Community Care to actually become a qualified Circle of Security facilitator, and he will be able to come into Gawler and run those different parenting programs as well. So we're working really closely together with the LCI Children's Centre as well.
So thank you, Kim. We can add things to the budget right up until we endorse the budget. So, I'm really keen on the Dads Group. I think it's a worthy cause. I think it could become quite large. You could partner with the Gawler Men's Health Network. Yep, that would provide further speakers to come and talk to the young fathers, and so I think it would be a really, really good program. So Councillor Shanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, look, I agree with everything that you've just said. Talking to Kim and Tom offline as well, one of the things that sort of attracted me to exploring this a little bit further was not necessarily just this one-off spend. It's actually about setting up that network in such a way that has been quite successful in eastern states, and using that success to join in here in South Australia and leverage relationships and partnerships with our local members, whether it be state level and federal level. And again, that all just ties back to that advocacy role that we do go out to our community and say we want to be doing. So that's why I talked earlier about a relatively small investment for a potential large return. So yes, great to hear that those themes are being picked up.
Because I think young fathers need support. I'm sure the three dads here are appreciative of the support that they are provided with, and it reduces depression, it reduces anxiety, it allows them to talk in a safe way, and it really improves their health and well-being. I think it really, really does. And I don't know if any of the young fathers want to say how they've been impacted by. You don't have to. You don't have to. You really don't have to. But I can see that you're here because you want to support Kim, and I think that's amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing, and well done, you, Councillor Hennessy.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Kim. As always, the work you do is valued very much in our community. But I'm going to bring the elephant into the room and name it. We are facing a very large deficit budget. We're in budget repair. We've had to cut things left, right and centre. I wonder if it is the time to put in a project like this when we are actually having to cut other areas. I think it's really valuable, and I wonder if it's something that perhaps we shouldn't partner with, rather than council do the... I just think we've just been through the community grants. Sure, that isn't $8,000, but we've limited, 17 organisations to $1,000 and under. It's always a very hard decision, but it's extremely tight, this particular budget, and I'm wavering on what else. If we bring something like this in, we're going to have to cut something else out. So as an elected body, perhaps we should start thinking about what extra we'll be cutting out.
Councillor Shanks.
I don't disagree, and to be honest, when we get to that point, should we get to that point in regards to motions, as Mayor Edmund rightfully pointed out, we have the opportunity to put motions, and should this motion make it to the floor, it needs to be tested on its merits, and some of those conversations, those hard conversations, are on us to make. But yeah, I don't disagree with the sentiment. But when we are looking at the $40 million budget, and we are looking at our vision statements that we go out with, and we try to divvy up that $40 million to make sure that we are delivering on what we say we deliver, then that's the debate. That's the rigour that we go through in our budget process, and just touching on the young dad sentiment as well. I 100% know the juggle that you guys went through, making sure Bunny was in the right spot and making sure the bath routine was done so you could be here tonight, because I did it myself coming in. So absolutely, I think as a overarching statement, the modern day family structure sometimes isn't quite picked up in the services available, and until we open up these discussions and look at these programs that are successful, we will still stay in the historic bloke goes out to work and mum stays home with the kids. So again, that community well-being model and vision statements that we do preach out there. This is about putting actions in, whether or not it's this budget cycle or whether it's the next, or what models or how we do it. Absolutely, those are the things that we test with the directions we set here as council.
So we're not putting motions up tonight. We're having an informal discussion tonight. So these are just random comments, and we will put motions up when the time comes at a special council meeting. So yes, that will happen. Yes, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, so just to clear it up for everyone, so we're talking about 2 Tuesdays from now, the consideration of public submissions on annual business plan and budget, Tuesday
Yes.
the 4th of June?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's when we can have the motions related to any
Yes.
submissions, yeah?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
So that would be the time to debate, not now. Leave the debating not here, but at the special council meeting on the 4th of June. Yeah, so I think that would be wise, because this is an informal discussion, so we're not having debates here. Okay. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Dads, for coming along, and thank you to the husband of Kim Wright. He's a dad. Yeah, so thank you very much. Jonathan Robran is not here, Operation Flinders Foundation, so he's not able, I don't know, see ya. He's not here, so he won't be presenting tonight. So there you go. So take this stuff away, read it, and yeah, I look forward to the motions on notice when they come up. Yeah, yes.
So we still have to be here until 8, right? Okay. Do we have...
We have to be here for 1 hour.
Do
1
we have
hour.
the written submissions or anything to look at, or a summary, or...
Through you, the Mayor. As of last tonight, just before we came here, so we'd actually received 6 submissions in total. So there was one from Kim, there was one from Operations Flinders, Jonathan Robran, seeking support for a team to be sent from Operation Flinders from Xavier College. There was two general submissions relating to just the rate rise, just saying about how they don't like the rate rise. One in relation to Pioneer Wall, and the last one, which we received late tonight, was in relation to the installation of a shelter at 5th Avenue. And that was from the Lions Club, where they're proposing that it will actually be a co-shared, co-funded, so that they would fund 50% of it, and they're seeking council to fund the remaining 50% of the shelter, which
So
I think...
how much is that?
I think that they estimated that the shelter would cost around 27,000, so I think that they were asking for about 12,500. So,
Okay.
with regard to the Operations Flinders, they weren't necessarily specific about whether it was a whole team of 10 from Xavier College or just part funding, so there wasn't a funding request per se. Yeah, and the other 3 were in relation to, obviously, the questioning the funding of Pioneer Wall, and the other 2 were just questioning the residential rate, average residential rate rise.
Okay. Are we able to look at those submissions?
Well, I suppose that's the point of the session on the 4th of June. So at the moment, with the submissions, they're out with staff writing responses to understand, to sit there and say, okay, well, you know, whether the from a staffing perspective, whether they're recommended or not recommended, and if they were recommended, how they can actually be potentially funded within the budget. So that's where the process is for...
we won't get them tonight?
No.
No.
Well, I don't have them. I
No.
don't have them here tonight, so that the intent was to actually provide them, they'll be attached to the
All right.
council report, which is being for consideration, but the report will also incorporate a staff response as well, very similar to the approach that was provided last year.
Okay. Any other questions? We've got half an hour. We've got to be here for an hour. So, shall we have a break? Yeah, I think we'll have a break and we'll... I think we'll have a 15-minute break. That takes us to 9:15, and then it's just another 15 minutes.
Obviously, if someone comes in, we'll have to...
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. Brian, hello. Brian.